If you get your views from television news, you'll only hear stories that corporations choose. You'll only get to see what they want you to see. You're gonna have to read and decide what you believe. We all watched in horror 911. The planes hit the towers and the towers came down. Did you ever wonder how they fell so fast? Well, maybe that's a question that we're not supposed to ask. Don't you think it's strange? There were no fighter jets. Did someone give the order not to intercept? And if they really scrambled, then why'd they fly so slow? Maybe there's an answer that we don't want to know. And where was our president? George W., that fool. He was visiting with children at an elementary school. And when he heard the news, he didn't seem concerned. He just calmly read a picture book while all those people burned. The Bushes and Bin Ladens. Now what's that all about? While all of us were grounded, they flew his family out. Osama got his training from the CIA. Our soldiers took Afghanistan, they let him slip away. A new Pearl Harbor was their big chance to launch 2 wars that they'd planned in advance. Now we know they lied about weapons in Iraq. Did they allow the 9/11 attack? If you get your views from television news, you'll only hear stories that corporations choose. You'll only get to see what they want you to see. You're gonna have to read and decide what you believe.
Howdy, welcome to episode 7 of this season of 9/11 Was an Inside Job. On my right is Mike Schultz, a member of PDX911. Is that?
I'm back.
Yeah,
right?
he's back. In the background, we got the new 9/11 photos that the New York police just released. But Mike has a whole bunch of different subjects that we're going to talk about today. A little bit later, we'll open up the phone lines. So...
Well, I like to drop by your show. I have another show I produce here when there's something new or fresh to talk about, and there is. And I have good news for you. 9/11 Truth has broken through to the mainstream in the past year. And it's through a person who's well known. His name is Jesse Ventura. He was the governor of Minnesota. And he had a pilot, an idea for a TV show on a cable network, not public access, cable, all right? It's a conspiracy show on True TV, which is in almost every household in America.
In Comcast, it's Channel 51.
Right. And his show is a big hit. And right away he covered 9/11 Truth. It's called American Conspiracies.
And he talked about things that a lot of people never even heard about, like Building 7. And it's still amazing that a lot of people still don't know about Building 7.
They still don't. It was a 47-story high building. If it were in Portland, it would actually be the tallest building in Portland.
You know, I was going to do that. I was going to it would take 3 of our 42-story bank buildings right next to each other to be the same size as Building 47, except it wouldn't quite be as tall. They're 5 stories shorter, but it would take 3 of those to be just as wide. So you have to imagine how immense that is. Drive downtown here in Portland and take a look at that building, and then imagine 3 of them, 2 more right next to it, and they all came down in 6.5 seconds.
Right, and no plane ever hit it. So Jesse, of course, covered that on his show. I found out the ratings were big. They were huge. We're talking 3 to 4 million people saw it. On these cable networks, they rerun shows over and over.
That's
so
true.
We're getting a pretty big hit every single time. He also wrote a book that, I checked today. I walked into Barnes & Noble. The top 10 books are right in front, and there it was. It's in the top 10.
Don't Start the Revolution Without Me, right? Is that the one?
No, the new book is American Conspiracies.
Oh, boy, I'm behind the times, folks.
It's in Amazon top 10. It's in Barnes & Noble, the top 10, the bestseller list.
Well, my book buying budget has been a little low, so I haven't even been to those places. I can't walk in unless I have several $100, you know.
That's a breakthrough, and he is a former Navy SEAL. He knows about false flag operations.
And he knows about what an explosion does and how to recognize one.
Right, and former governor, he knows a lot about inside politics. So it's been picked up for a second season.
Oh, it has. That's good.
It did get picked up, so it's on True TV. It feels funny promoting another cable network, but it's mainstream, and I wanted to.
But that's fine. I mean, it's something that isn't being censored automatically.
No, it's not. And they cover all kinds of issues, and that's the main one. And I want to talk about another TV show called South Park.
Okay, South Park, yeah. Sometimes they piss me off. I like South Park most of the time, but...
Right. On one level, it's kind of for kids and teenagers, but then they're talking about politics. I happened to randomly run across an episode that was on 9/11 Truth.
Right.
Now, it was interesting. They made fun of it in a way, but they had a character on there wearing a T-shirt, and it said 911truth.org.
Oh, okay, so that people could actually follow up on it.
It's a real website.
Right.
They could have easily made fun of it, right? And had a ridiculous.
Well, every once in a while they did
website.
break away, and one of the cartoon characters would explain why people might think that 9/11 was an inside job, but then they immediately switch back to another character or put him down for being a loony, But
right. Well, this one character
at least it was in your face,
explained what a false flag operation was, and he took a few minutes during the cartoon. They kind of stopped the entertainment,
right,
for a couple
gave us
minutes.
a little history lesson,
right. And then by the end of the show, they were kind of making fun of 9/11. Of course, they're spoofing everything, but that's pretty interesting. That's a breakthrough. South Park.
I have some friends I try to get them to watch South Park, but they said I can't even understand what they're saying. We tried watching South Park with subtitles, and for the first time, I learned what that song is at the beginning.
It's reaching a different audience, for sure. The website under my name on the screen there is Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth.
We can't put that up yet. We're running the CD,
later on.
But we'll have his name and everything up there when we.
Right. So there's now 1,158 architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth.
Right.
Now think about your career. If you were an architect, would you be putting yourself on the line in your profession?
Exactly. 1,000 of these guys signed a petition saying, "Hey, I am one of these nutcases." Right. Well, that's really a dangerous thing to do unless you're really sure about what you're talking about.
These people build buildings for a living, and they have to get jobs and contracts.
Now,
and they're
last February they had
line.
that conference announcing that 1,000 engineers had signed, and it was